In the previous lesson, we learned to multiply fractions using a picture. And in that picture, we can see that the numerator multiplies the numerator and the denominator multiplies the denominator. So just reviewing the big idea is anything that's multiplication ends up on top. Okay, so we say times on top, and anything that is division is in the denominator, or divide on bottom. So if it's multiply, it belongs in the numerator. If it's divide, it belongs in the denominator. So the rule we're going to use for multiplying fractions, we're just going to simplify it and say top times top, multiply the numerators together, and bottom times bottom, we multiply the denominators together. And then we're going to simplify to lowest terms. So when we look at these examples here, so the first example is 5 over 6 times 1 over 3. So we're just going to keep the numerators together, and we're just going to say 5 times 1 is going to be 5 in the numerator, and then we're going to keep the denominators together. So 6 times 3 is 18, and that's going to be our simplified fraction. There are no common factors between 5 and 18. So when we do B, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to keep the top and the bottom separate. So we're going to do 2 times 10. That's going to give us 20 in the numerator. And we're going to do 5 times 3, or 18 in the denominator. Now, 20 and 18 do share common factors. So that's not 18. That's going to be 15. 5 times 3 is 15. So 20 and 15 share common factors. So 20 and 15 share a common factor of 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide the top by 5, and we're going to divide the bottom by 5. And so we're going to end up in the numerator, we're going to end up with 4. So we get 4 in the numerator, and in the denominator we're left with 3. So our simplified fraction is going to be 4 over 3. So again, we set up the rest the same. We're going to keep the numerator and denominator separate. So 5 times 3, that's going to give us 15 in the numerator. And then 12 times 2 gives us 24 in the denominator. For D, we do the same thing. Top times top, 5 times 1 is 5. Bottom times bottom is going to be 7 times 4 is 28. And again, we just make sure that no multiplication ends up in the denominator and no divide in the denominator ends up in the numerator. We keep top and top, bottom and bottom. So for this one, for E, we end up with 15 times 7. Okay, we might need a calculator for that. So 15 times 7, I'm going to do it by mental math. So 10 times 7 is 70. 5 times 7 is 35. So 35 plus 70 is 105. In the denominator, I'm going to do 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 3 is 18. So 18 plus 60 is 78. Okay, and now these do share a common factor of 3. So I can divide by 3. 105 divided by 3 is going to give me 35. And then I'm going to divide by 3 in the denominator. When I divide the denominator by 3, I'm going to end up with 26. So that is my simplified fraction. For F, we end up with 12 times 1 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. Shares a common factor of 3, so we're going to divide the 3 on top and bottom. And again, make sure you show the steps. It's important that you show the steps and show the factors involved here. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. 15 divided by 3 is going to be 5. So whatever we do on the top, as long as we do the same on the bottom, we keep the same ratio.